Ladies and gentlemen, the great German orchestras, the Bamberg Symphony, the Berlin Philharmonic, the Bayreuth Festival Orchestra, are world famous. World unfamous is this jovial outfit. Let's follow them around as they greet visitors at the train station, in the harbor, and at the airport. And here on one of the steamers on Hamburg's famed Alster Lake. The city that gave us the hamburger presents the Pannkuchenkapelle, the Pancake Band. Can we interest you in some more curiosities? Fine, then come along to Annweiler. Here's a delightful anachronism in this ancient town. Instant sightseeing at the touch of a button in your own language.
Many, many years ago, Emperor Barbarossa visited our town. You see him sitting there at the corner of our town hall, looking down upon the marketplace with its old framework houses. A picturesque corner on the River Queich, an old watermill, and in the town hall a replica of the ancient and glorious Kaiser's crown.
This town actually speaks for itself.
Annweiler, Annweiler.
And now we proudly present the German Federal Railroad. Well, let's say one of its closest competitors. Here's the engineer, Admiral Margaret. She races the Sail Express across a dam that stretches to the islands of Åland and Langeness on the west coast of Schleswig-Holstein. This convertible streamliner hits 100 miles an hour, when the wind is in the mood, of course. Yes, it's a traffic light, and no, it's not unusual. But take a look at this 4-horsepower coach, modern to the Victorian minute. The town is Bad Kissingen, a spa in Bavaria. Check the local park, Trotterjot. Where do we go from here? Well, the park looks familiar by now. And hold on as we trot some more. It looks to us as though the good old days never passed. Here we are back in Hamburg, right in the heart, or should we say, stomach of this great port. We're visiting the Altona Market, the place to find that fish delish. Crowded with ships and stalls, Altona is fragrant and fun. It's a fish market because you can fish out almost anything. Rare orchids, exotic birds, stylish hats, practical furs, exquisite jewelry, chic socks, various vegetables, flowers, works of art, numberless notions. Incidentally, if you're having a wild Saturday night, wind it all up at Altona. The Sunday-only market opens at 4 a.m. and swings until 10. Rather imposing for a small town, wouldn't you say? A museum, perhaps? Well, not really. It's the Church of Rintal in the Palatinate. It might have been a museum, though, and nearly was. The architects simply mixed up the plans, goofed, shall we say, very grandly, 100 years ago. The columns are Grecian, the proportions classical. But if the angels don't complain, why should we? It's a lovely monument to absent-mindedness. And now, finally, that promised trip on the German Federal Railroad. A real ride on the rails, or should we say, under the rails, because that's the way they do things in Wuppertal. Incidentally, this monorail doesn't depend on pedal or even sail power. No chain-wheel drive for the Wuppertalers. Electricity has been doing the job since the Pioneer system was opened in 1901. It's the most delightful transportation we know of, and it really solves the traffic problem in a graceful, high-flying fashion. In loop after loop after loop after loop. Others, however, get dizzy and prefer to swim. This must be the trunk line. Time for sustenance, and there's nothing like soup to give you a glow. A locally famous, unique bean soup. No, those aren't beans, they're raisins. The liquid, yes, the liquid, pure brandy. This is a specialty of Bad Zwischenahn, a resort in East Frisia. And if you delicately lick your spoon clean, we'll all believe you're a native. What is this aqueous agitation? What is all the effervescence? Subterranean seltzer? Well, actually, these 204 springs are the bubbly source of the Pader River, which has its mirthful beginnings under an ancient cathedral in Paderborn, Westphalia. We have our land of laughing waters here, too, and moated castles. Monte Caolino has a fine Italian-sounding name, and of course, it's in Germany. The Caolino refers to quartz, which is what it is through and through, and it's perfect for summer skiing. The deposit is 330 feet high and equipped with a ski lift. The 525-foot downhill slope leads right to a big swimming pool. Wonderful practice for winter sport and competition, and a great way to acquire a tan. By the way, if you'd like a souvenir of Monte Caolino, you can choose a lovely goblet made from Caolino quartz. Here we are in Mainz, where Ludwigstrasse and the 50th parallel are, well, parallel. Note the brass marker, which is blithely ignored by pedestrians. Farther south, in Freiburg, another Ludwigstrasse crosses another parallel, the 48th, as anyone can plainly see. And nearby, the famous Freiberg Minster, one of Christendom's loveliest spires. You know, to be perfectly honest, you really can't get enough of a good gnome. And Lauterbach is where they're especially lovable and ubiquitous. This town is about 95 miles and 3 centuries away from Bonn. Peeking into the gnome workshops, we see that the little men are molded in clay, fired in a kiln, and dressed in bright gnome colors, including just the right touch of makeup. Along with fairy tales, they're among Germany's most popular exports. Do by all means buy a fine clock while you're in Germany. Let us recommend this accurate Baroque timepiece, the largest German sundial in the Black Forest town of Saint Blasien. It's accurate to the hour, and you won't miss the sweep second hand. It only quits when the sun does, but that's as rare in these parts as our clock itself. If you can give up smoking for a few seconds, you can enjoy this wooden bridge, which spans the Rhine in the southern Black Forest at Säckingen. Smoking is not permitted. The bridge has borne the weight of traffic and snow and age for 3.5 centuries. Today, cars rumble back and forth, picturesquely protected from the elements. And now, as a reward for not smoking, here's a serenade by the Säckingen trumpeter. Obviously a jet-set type. Ladies, now you pay close attention. It's your turn. When the vanishing creams won't do the disappearing act on those wrinkles, it's time for a trip to the rejuvenating mill at Tripsdrill. The sign shows what you can expect. The cure couldn't be simpler, faster, or more fun. We simply pour them in at the top, then slide them down the hatch, and abracadabra out at the bottom, good as new. It just takes a little faith. I think we'll all have to admit fun is really the best antidote to age. And nothing could be more fun than the water chute on the Isar River near Munich. These are actually the biggest river locks in the world, fully 820 feet long. The river drops an exhilarating 60 feet and the raft right along with it. Muscle power keeps the float on course, and a good Dixieland band provides the right tempo for a rollicking river cruise through the lovely Bavarian countryside. Definitely an upbeat, offbeat travel idea. Apartment hunting? Shop the countryside and compare. Do check the oldest dwelling in Germany, an Ice Age cave in the lovely Altmühl Valley. Here's the spacious living room. Note the couch. The practical kitchen. The emergency exit. Proven refrigeration. And a lovely terrace to boot. Remember, you may find more frills elsewhere, but this is rock-bottom value. With a view, of course. This is the largest barrel in the world. Excuse me, sir, you're blocking my view. Thank you. And it holds almost 500,000 gallons of people, which is to say 500 guests in this charming restaurant. You might guess that most of the visitors are delighted to sample the famous local wines because this is celebrated Bad Dürkheim. Note the curious native custom of linking arms. This is a sign of conviviality. The swaying has a hypnotic effect. You'll have to excuse me. Indians in Germany? Yes, and they're native German Indians, too. You'll find their teepees at Bad Segeberg in Schleswig-Holstein, scene of the annual Karl May Festival. Here in a dramatic natural amphitheater, the Wild West comes to life. The West as described by Karl May, one of Germany's best-loved storytellers. Yes, it's the eternal struggle of the frontiersman. Thrilling hand-to-hand combat, terrifying ambush, wild chases, stagecoach races. Will they escape? Ah, yes, but don't worry, the good guys always win. What audience would have it any other way? Statistics don't lie, or so they say. And there's no reason to doubt what the experts report about Munich. It's the most festival-happy town in Germany. Münchners celebrate at the drop of a stein, and the local brewers are always there to put on a good show. This is the kind of Umpapa parade they've been holding for generations. Believe me, it's just one of the many fun things you can see in Munich, and it's all for free. So when you visit Germany, get off the beaten path. Your trip can be a wonderful whirl of colorful contrasts.